This has been quite strange, really, looking at my career and the development over the time. And I'll go back to the 1960s and the 70s. And one of the things that were important at the time of the 1960s and 70s was the belief that we could actually make a difference. That education was actually about possibility. And you know, you mentioned Tuakau College, and Lena and I were also Auckland girls, and that it was teachers that gave you the possibility. And so because I was in science, I remember the time, the first lesson that I came up from Tuakau and I was in science, within sciences, trotted off with us before class, and then there was the end of the first week, there was a complaint to the deputy principal that the school certificate class, who complained about me, we have had a whole week and we haven't got any notes. And Elaine Craig, who was actually the deputy principal at that point, said, well, what did you do? Well, we just all went down to Western Springs and collected samples, and then we got given microscopes and were told to look down the microscope. You're not going to learn any science doing that. And I went and took Elaine's office note to go and talk to Elaine, and she said, this is what's happened, and please continue doing that. But that was the sort of, because I had been a student of Ray Munro's, you know, and Ray believed that science was an inquiry. And at the end, the 70s was a time when we worked really hard to help develop movements and campaigns and Māori education and big huis to say this is what we wanted. And in 1989 we got Tomorrow's Schools. And Tomorrow's Schools was a competing set of things. On one hand, for the primary teachers, Tomorrow's Schools was the mechanism for them to get rid of the education boards. But for those of us in secondary, all we could see was the mechanism for actually constraining the possibility. So part of the battle about Tomorrow's Schools was led by the fight to maintain teaching as a national service. And the campaign against bulk funding that followed after Tomorrow's Schools was really about maintaining the possibility of teaching becoming a national, staying as a national service, with the implications for students from one group of people could be the same for the rest. That the kids in Northland would get the same opportunities as the kids in Remuera, where the ideal of the equality of opportunity was carried out in some way. And then when I came here with me in 1960, we went back to Auckland girls and became the deputy principal in charge of curriculum. Because one of the things that was possible was that in the Tomorrow's Schools mishmash, we found little tiny opportunities that were there. And one of them was that they were trying to reorganise the qualifications process. And let's have qualifications across the board. And out of that whole thing, PTA worked really hard to have the ideal of assessment for better learning. That was the ideal. Unfortunately, well, it's been narrowed and narrowed ever since. Coming here into research and looking at the possibility, and remember a battle we started trying to get with, to try and push through that secondary program would be the same as the graduate diploma of primary, so that grads came in for 2 years and that secondary come in for 2 years. And we were just working it through, and it got to the psychology academic board as it was then. Everyone focused on the now, or what about my job, what will happen? And Stuart Middleton came in at that point in Murray Britt, and then they talked very heatedly about what would it matter, and nobody would take the students, and everyone voted against it. And it was like, missed it again, missed the opportunity. But we still keep going. The next part that I remember was actually the battle to try and create, it came out of Tomorrow's School, the Teacher Registration Board. That it would be the Teacher Registration Board, and I don't know if Fiona is here, but Fiona was one of those original people that we were trying to set up a Teachers Council that would be owned and would look after and protect the profession. So I suppose it's always been my role, this thing of marching forward, banging the head against the brick wall or something, but pushing and having that it is possible, but you have to keep trying and you have to keep it going. And now we're faced in this particular point in history where the nature of the work of academics and the nature of tertiary education is something we have to look really seriously. What is the role of the university in the knowledge economy when it is expected that everybody will have a qualification? Now that's a question that we really haven't come to grips with. But we can see bits of the form of the university and what's happening with that. So how do we find a way, is what my thing, to value and recognise and improve teaching? Not just teaching in schools, but teaching in universities. What is happening in universities at the moment is that research is being separated from teaching, and that service is being separated from all the rest of what we do, and people are being divided against each other. Because our purpose always, I believe, is that we create a better society. And it's always been my criticism of posty type theoretical models is that if you actually don't have a dream of possibility, you've got nowhere to walk towards. So it's in that dream that there is going to be a better way and that we will actively work to get it. So I'm going to leave here with this artefact and give it to somebody to take home. Now, it is an artefact. And the first question that I used to use for my research class was to say, okay, you have to work out whether it's man-made or is it natural. Okay, work that one through. So, what does it tell you about things and what is the meaning in this that you get out of it?
Yeah, it's gone.
It's like a spine.
It's been very useful for me. I used to take to them all the time. Because it's actually both man-made and natural. It is created when some working person did not shut off the valve properly in Brian Pico's factory on a long weekend. And the latex that has been cut out of the trees of Malaysia and brought to New Zealand and created the thing leaked. Somebody gave me that. So I want someone to pick up a meaning system artifact and keep talking about inside something is a whole other thing. Somebody has volunteered.